Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Oh, great, cool. Just wondering. You know the computers. It's nice. It's a pleasure to meet you guys.
It's pleasure as well.
Thank you. So we're looking forward to this.
Yes, of course. Obviously, we've been waiting for a long time now.
Yes. We've had a few goes. I'll just get rid of this stuff off the screen so I can see you guys properly.
No problem.
Okay. So who are we waiting for?
No one really. We were waiting for you actually. Okay, so good afternoon.
Can you see?
No, actually, we can't see you.
Doesn't seem to want to. How's that? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
better?
now
Yes.
yes.
We're stuck.
Right. So good
Do you
afternoon,
want to start
everyone.
off? Or do you want to
Sorry,
start
what?
off?
Yeah, I'm gonna start.
Okay, great. Cool.
Thank you.
So where are you guys
good
based?
We live in Pune, actually, Maharashtra in India, and we're from D.Y. Patil College. My name is
Okay.
Sakshi,
And my name is Mitesh.
Good to meet you guys.
like we are doing a podcast episode of SpaceBuzz, and it's been hosted by us for today. So, Mitesh should be telling you what exactly SpaceBuzz is. So,
Yeah.
So thank you, Sakshi. SpaceBuzz is an event where we interact with experts in the field of astronomy.
Mhm.
We basically are going to discuss anything and everything under the sky, or should I say above the sky.
That's great.
Dhruva,
So I was thinking, I don't know a lot about that astronomy, so I have to wing this.
yeah.
I know
well, we
most-
don't as well. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, let me introduce you first. So, this is Mr. John Moody, and he's the CEO of Moody Space Center and ambassador of US Force Association, Space Force Association.
Hey. Yep.
Hi. So, what exactly is Moody Space Center? Like, can you give us a little bit?
Moody Space Centre is a proposition to the federal government to make a heavy launch lift capability in Australia, and also looking at crewed missions, so at creating an astronaut industry as well. In Australia, we don't have such thing at the moment. So it's been a lot of work. It's probably taken me about 4 years to get where I am now. We're starting to take on people who are looking at training in NASA as astronauts. We've sourced them from the Royal Australian Air Force because we think that that's the proper way to go, at the moment for us, rather than civilians. We're not at that level yet. And have a capability of launching heavy satellites, not cube satellites. And so military and intelligence services we would probably service, and some commercial telecommunications companies. Does that sort of answer the question?
Well, yes, of course it does.
Just ask anything you'd like.
That's actually, I was just going to tell you that if you're not comfortable answering any question, you can just say no, because
I will
we
say
don't
no
know.
comment, don't worry.
Okay.
So, we also know that, we found out that you are a representative in interorbital system, and your first, STEM satellite launch, and you also bring education to, Australian youths and everything. So, can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Interorbit are a company that have pretty big plans, actually. It's not just they're starting off launching cube satellites and smaller rockets at the moment. Randa Milron is the CEO of the company. She runs the company. She's a very good friend of mine. Talk to her regularly, pretty much every day on Facebook. They've got a plan to even go and colonize the moon. So that's where they're coming from, But they're doing it step by step, as you should. There's no giant leap or anything in this industry that doesn't exist. It's hard work, hard labor, and late nights, really.
Oh, wow, that's great. Actually, it's like when I saw your LinkedIn profile, I was like, oh man, this guy's done so many things, and half of the things I don't even know.
I'm not even telling people what I've done, actually, to be honest. I've got a lot more things up my sleeve, but I don't think the timing is right just yet to put it out there, because some of it's quite confronting to people, and then you get a lot of haters, which I get regularly every day. So you have to deal with that as well. and they drag you down if you follow that path. So my advice to anyone starting in that industry is to ignore the negative, concentrate on the positive.
That's actually pretty helpful because nowadays everyone is very kind of self-aware of the fact that they are going to have haters, and that is one of the reason why people don't usually take that initiative and do whatever they want to do.
Sure, I think you'll dislike this comment, but I think the problem is curriculum, because what we're taught in school is the same old crap that's been taught for the last 50 years. There's not been much of an update on advanced technology and that sort of thing. So the kids today don't really get the information, which is sad, because they have to dig for it and find it out themselves, and that requires a lot of energy, and there's a lot of stress involved too, because you're looking at a technology that's maybe a challenge to intelligence services, or maybe a threat as well. So you've got to be very careful, how you do it and how you portray yourself and project yourself. That's cool. So we're really looking at getting into advanced projects as well. So things that are probably 30 years ahead. That for me personally, that's what attracts me. It's not doing the same old thing that everyone else has done, and that's the thing. It's about making new grounds and making you push forwards and new technology, which really excites me.
Right.
Actually, I just saw Australia sign a deal with India to become one of the pack. So I think that's a great move to bring us closer together, and probably not many people know that at this moment. So
we'll keep quiet.
It's their bull business. But I think it's a great move. Space is a touchy subject because it's also defence. So you got to be careful again, which toes you step on. You got to play the game right. You got to go through the right people and the right system. And at first, I'll tell you, they will not take you seriously. So you have to break through that barrier, which takes a couple of years, and then people start to look at this. They say, "Look at this guy; he's still doing it." So that's when you start to get taken seriously. It's just breaking through the barrier of the negativity is probably the most challenging thing.
Right, of course.
So John, you're in Australia, right?
I'm in Brisbane, Australia right now. Yeah.
Okay, so how are the corona situations right there?
Good relationships with the government. We've got a company called McKinsey & Co. representing us now, who I've handed over pretty much everything to. So I'm just a puppet, roll me out on the photo days, take a picture of me, But I'm doing a lot of work behind the scenes now. They're doing a lot of work up front. So that company there is all over the world. They advise the White House. They advise a lot. They're probably in your country as well. So for me, I'm comfortable with them taking care of my business and organising my business. They're about to introduce me to the head of the Royal Australian Air Force, which is an excellent move for us because you need these guys on your side. Without them, it's very hard. It's probably impossible because they'll just shut you down. So getting to the contacts and making friends and getting them to understand where you're coming from with the project is even harder too, because in Australia we tend to not really go for the big things, and those who go for the big things are pretty much cut down quickly. So and I felt that. I've been through lots of situations where I felt that, but I feel I'm pretty strong and I can take it. Brings me a lot of stress, but you have to be able to negotiate through that and handle yourself and your body. So that's the most important thing: maintaining a relationship with the government, and getting people on your side in the government is the big key, because without it, you're not really going to achieve much.
Right, of course. That's actually I was going to ask. Like you have your own space center and you are a founder of Moody Space Center. You had to build this company from scratch. So
pretty much. And the big thing that challenges most people is that I left school at 15. I was born an orphan, so I had those challenges from the very start. So when I come out with my ideas, it challenges people who have got master's degrees. Because they've paid $30,000 or $40,000 to go and learn this stuff, and I come out as from a kid that left school at grade 10, we call it over here. And I come up with these ideas that are far ahead of theirs. So, they get threatened by that. So, again, you've got to be aware in the business side of it, not talking the space side of it, in the business side of it, you've got to be very aware there are lots of sharks out there.
Yeah, exactly. Like you need a lot of government permissions for, like, as far as I know.
You need the government on your side, so you have to wave the flag, That's the best way to do it.
Right, of course.
Wave your flag, jump up and down, and you will get the attention. And it'll be a good attention.
That's great. That's actually pretty helpful because it's like even India we have pretty long process to get permissions and all that stuff. So it's like, okay, is it same there as well, or is it like somewhat
Oh, most
different?
definitely. It's the same. You have to go through leaps and bounds and 300-page documents that you have to read, and that challenges me because of my level of education, but I get through it and understand it. So usually I get an advisor in. As I said, I'm working with McKinsey and Co. So I let them worry about that. I don't really want to worry about all that stuff, to be honest with you. I just want to concentrate on focus on the actual rockets and missions and that thing. We've lost you there. Do you jump in and out?
Oh no, actually there's some, I don't know, some.
So I hope that helps. That would be my advice for any beginner. Get it right, get your business plan together, do some research, and then approach the government with a solid understanding of what you're doing, because they just won't take you seriously otherwise. Yeah.
So, okay, so what?
First got me into space was Neil Armstrong. So when I was 5, I watched the moon landings, and it just blew my mind. I said, that's what I want to become. But I grew up in a very small town, and there was no way that was going to happen whatsoever. Just no way. So I left. I left the small town when I was 18, and I went to a place called Sydney, Australia, and I started in the music industry. And as I said, I had a lot of success in that industry. But you get older, and time moves on. I'm 53, and time moves on. So you make and the actual thing that got me in the space industry was my father, who was dying of cancer, and I went home to look after him, and he actually hated my guts. But I actually went home to look after him for 2 years, and that was a real challenge. And he passed away, and then I had this epiphany, which made me ask the question: what am I doing? What am I really doing? And then I found myself going back to that 5-year-old kid and the dreams that he had. So what I did, I got an inheritance. I jumped on a plane and I went to Los Angeles, and I met just about everybody in the space industry, and I found them very, very welcoming and on my side. It was kind of shock, actually, because I didn't think I'd get that far with the first trip. But that's how it started. Then I came back to Australia and got my plan together, and and worked out the business plan, the model, and that sort of thing. I've done this the hard way. I work for it. So Neil Armstrong is the guy who got me into space.
Neil Armstrong is an inspiration to a lot of us here, actually.
I have a great deal of respect for the man, and I actually met Buzz Aldrin when he came out to Australia, because we this guy approached me who was bringing him out here. He wanted me to help him with promotion because of my music background. So I jumped on that board, of course, and we got some nice photos. And he's a really funny guy. Actually, if you ever meet Buzz Aldrin, first thing I'll tell you right now, he'll crack a joke. So he's a really funny guy. He's a really open guy, which is rare. And and to meet someone of that caliber and who is part of history, really, is just amazing.
It's like I'd be fangirling that moment when I get the privilege to actually see him. Forget about actually going and having a conversation,
I think my legs were shaking at the time. Just a true thing.
So, like when we research about Moody Space Center, there was a lot of security that we, observed. So, how do you avoid those breaches in security? Like, obviously, it's like.
Well, I don't. I just confront them, and you either go down or you go up.
Oh.
So far, I've gone up. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. This internet connection will be stopped. pretty quickly, because I guarantee you that probably someone else listening to this right now. So, we have to be cool.
You have to be cool.
Yeah. You have to get them respect.
So, John, so according to our information, you're an ambassador at US Space Center, right?
Yes, US Space Association.
What role do you play? What do you do as an ambassador?
So my main role is promoting the brand, linking up Australia, linking up the USA with Australia and the UK and other countries who want to get involved. So my major thing is promoting the brand, just getting awareness of the company organisation. It's a new company, so people are starting to catch on and learn about it. They work with Space Force directly as well, and it's run by a guy called Colonel Bill Wolfe. He is from the US Air Force, retired now. And he's just an amazing guy. He I don't know, he does it. He's everywhere, and he works very hard. So my role is basically promotion of the brand.
Oh, okay, that's great. So, is there a process to be a part of the Space Association or something? Like you said, you're an ambassador. So if someone wants
to they approached me, which was a big shock to me, to be honest with you. Because and a privilege. But they approached me, Bill approached me, and I thought, wow, this is a great opportunity, to really connect with the US side of things, which I'm looking at doing and trying to do, and I have done, and this would take me up to a different level, it's right up the top there. So I said yes pretty quickly, and everything rolled from there. You can become a member of Space Force Association as well. It's really quite cheap. You can become a member for like $35 US. You just go online to their website and click become a member, and you're in. Basically, it's pretty cheap. It's not an elitist club or anything like that. It's just for normal people who want to be involved in space and want to know about space.
Wow, that's great. And is there a way to be involved in Moody Space Center?
You wouldn't believe the amount of resumes I get every day. Unfortunately, there's most positions have been pretty full, and they've been full for years. We're the sort of company that's been waiting in the background, and for the opportunity, and we made sure that we got all that I's dotted and T's crossed before we even started out. So that we project confidence, we project knowledge, and this is what people want to see.
That's great. That's great. So, are the engineers at Moody Space Center trying to come up with ideas to make a renewable rocket system or somewhat like that?
Yeah, well, the renewable rocket system was actually, this is where I get my haters. The reusable rocket system was actually designed in 1992 by the United States Air Force, called Delta Clipper. And that was the project that was created. And so that technology existed way back then. So for me, reusable rockets, there may be another step to that. I'm not kind of sure what yet. It's not clear in my head. So I'm not going to open my mouth about it. But I think there's another level to it. I think rockets are pretty much World War II inventions. I think that time is, seriously, 70 years and no one's come up with anything better. I find that just hard to accept. I can't accept that. It's just like, am I missing something here, or I'm not in the program? So that's. I think rocket systems probably have only about 10 years to go, and then you're going to see some new technology come out by Lockheed Martin.
Wow, that's great. In fact, thinking, it reminded me something. So basically, there's this. I just saw that you purchased a D61 22 rocket, right? And how are they used? Is it I'm very curious about that, because it's pretty cool, So,
how are they used?
How are they going to be used for? Any projects that have been carrying out or something like that?
I kind of don't understand the question.
Okay, that's fine. That's no problem at all.
There are other rocket companies in Australia that are up and running. Equatorial Launch Systems is one. and I can't remember the other name, but there's a big push in South Australia for rocket industry. But again, it's looking at CubeSats, which I'm not into. I'm not interested in that. So I'm looking at the big picture, the big projects. So there are industries in Australia, and South Australia is doing a very good thing of promoting that industry, and it's growing day by day. But again, it's not crewed and it's not heavy lift. It's small rockets,
Oh, okay. Okay. So, you said that you were going to collaborate with ISRO as a space as an agency. Am I right? Which is the
No,
Indian. All right, all right. Okay. So, what do you think of alien life? Do you think it's like it's so? This is one of the biggest, that questions that
well,
everyone has.
I think I knew from the very beginning, to be honest, since a kid, to be honest with you, what the truth was. So, I mean, I think life is prevalent throughout the universe. It's nothing unique. It's common. It's commonplace. I don't think you have to go too far to find that. I think that's within our own solar system. You look at Europa and you look at the underground oceans, and you put two to two together. It doesn't take much to work it out. As we're told, life came from the sea in this world. So for me, I think this is pretty common stuff throughout the whole universe. The question, then you come up to the next question, which is how do you get there? And that's where I mean about the rocket technology changing. I've read in magazines that about systems that can get you to Mars in like 6 seconds. Now that's mind blowing to some people, and they won't buy that. But that's sort of the type of thing that we really need to have to get to other star systems. We're talking traveling vast distances in a blink of an eye. And we don't have that capability at the moment. Anyone with half a brain knows there's life out there. It's simple chemistry. And there may be other forms of life as carbon life forms as well. The possibility is amazing. You just have to go into our deep sea oceans to find deep sea trenches, and you find life. There's no sun, so that equation's cut out straight away. And you can, as I said, psychology. You can pretty much work it out. I've had a great deal of interest in this subject since a kid. UFOs and all that sort of thing, stuff like that. It really attract me because it's the unknown, and I like adventure. So
yeah, I know. Like some people are so scared of the unknown that they don't even want to go and explore.
The people who are scared are the ones that fear, and ones who fear are the ones that have the most to lose, right?
Right.
So it's all about cash dollars.
How you see things, that yes, of course.
Exactly. You come out with a product like that, and you've automatically completely wiped out the rocket industry. It's over. So that is a big threat to a lot of countries and a lot of governments, and you better watch your step.
Exactly. So even about that, like you said about the carbon structure, it is said that life on Earth is based on carbon structures, right? But some do believe
another one as well.
Some do believe that they are on silicon as well. It's like, what do you think? What are your views on that?
Well, NASA actually discovered methane life in a lake in USA, and the person who came up with that was sacked, and that stuff was buried. But then she became the deputy director of NASA. So I don't know how it works. I've got no idea how that works. So they brought her back in, and she became the deputy director of NASA, and all of a sudden, oh yes, there's possibility of methane life. So, there's an agenda out there of some big companies and big money, So you have to be aware of that.
So in past history that we have come across many encounters, many theories, many events. Like aliens have made contact with ancestors or something, like in Egypt.
I think they've been around since the dawn of time. There was a treaty signed in 1954 with a particular species at Edwards Air Force Base. And you do some digging, you'll find out what I'm talking about. But I'm not going to talk any more about that. But there's a lot going on behind the scenes that the public ain't aware of. And, this stuff has already gone down. So, at the moment, I think a lot of companies are trying to understand the technology, which is beyond us. How does it work? Back engineering and that sort of thing. And, that's a big effort. And it's certainly a challenge for human minds because, as I said, we're not at that level. And everything you learn goes out the window. So you just have to start again, So this is what I mean about curriculum. It's hard to get a good education because it's hard to get the truth.
There are also many right now, there are memes floating around, like Area 51, the recent monolith. I know it's just a meme. Some say it is just a US military camp. Some say it is an alien base.
For me, if I was in that position, I would, if you understand me properly, if I was in that position, I would have moved that shit out to the Pacific Ocean a long time ago. Because Area 51 has become a tourist attraction now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can't really operate black projects, and most of the Area 51 and S4 is underground. They haven't built up; they've built down. This is freely available information. I'm not telling you secrets or anything like that. So, you just have to do the research, and it's exciting to me. I find that exciting stuff. But again, you're in a dangerous world.
Yeah. So, what are your views on Mars colonization ideas of Elon Musk and NASA?
I spoke to Elon, actually. I think his plan is stupid, and I'll tell you why that is. Because 18 months in a spacecraft, I don't know if you've ever been in a submarine, I have. 18 months in a spacecraft, the psychological impact on people is going to be enormous. And I wouldn't be surprised if people end up killing each other, to tell you the truth. It's like being locked in a jail cell, right? The anxiety builds up, the stress builds up, and bang, it's on, So for me, I think the man should be concentrating on more propulsion systems that can get us there quicker and in a reasonable time. So it's not a mental effect on the body as well. There's also effects also effects of being in space, affects the human body, radiation, etc. That'll be a big challenge. Refueling as well. I think his plans would be best if he went to the moon first, set up there, and then go from there because it's going to be a lot cheaper and it's going to be easier to launch because you don't have this gravity to push against you. Yeah. So that's my plan. I think it's great. I think it's great to have a Mars colony. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great. I think it'd be awesome. I'd certainly go. But again, I think that the psychological impacts on the human mind and body are tremendous and a lot to expect out of normal people.
Right. It kind of reminds me of this movie. I don't know if you know it. It's called Passengers.
I love it.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, they were in that spaceship for so long and they were the only ones there. So that kind of reminds me of that. So do you think that if that kind of spaceship was ever built, then would it be possible?
You're talking cryogenics, right?
Yeah.
I think it's all a waste of time. I think come back to the propulsion system again. We need to be able to get to other galaxies in hours. We don't have the brains yet for that. No one has come up with it. As I said, no one has come up with a plan or an idea since Einstein. And I find that hard to accept because isn't there someone out there that's got this idea? Surely there must be someone out there that has half a brain that can come up with the concepts. So for me, I would be looking at propulsion. I think propulsion is the key. Who wants to spend 18 months in a spacecraft? I don't. You might as well send me to jail. Because that's the cross reference.
Right.
So in the recent interview, Elon Musk also told that to make Mars a human-like environment, like humans to inhabit, we have to nuke both poles.
Probably, yeah, well, that's where the water is, right? So you're going to be able to turn that into hydrogen, turn it into energy, etc. And also the other equation too is where there's water, there's life. Because that's the first ingredient, right? It's chemistry. So that's the first ingredient. So, we have to look at, are we going to Mars? Are we going to interfere with the environment there, or possible life forms there, which we don't have a right to do? And so there's a lot of questions. They're theoretical questions, philosophy almost, So yeah, again, I said propulsion.
Right. Of course. Also, like yesterday, only listened to Stephen Hawking. He said that universe just exists. It does not have a birth or death. It simply can evolve. But some other scientists, even NASA, is trying to find the birth of universe. So,
sure,
like,
I agree with that. I think
do
that's right. Wormhole technology, this sort of thing, which is science fiction to most people, But when you sit down and you have to come up with the idea of how do you do it, that's when the real challenge is on. That's when you push yourself. So again, and you also got to understand too, with new technology, that becomes a national security threat, because you're looking at putting businesses out of work. A lot of businesses that destabilize the stock markets, and that's classified as national security. So you have to work your way very carefully through that, and you have to involve the enemy, so to speak, because you can't do it by yourself. It's as simple as that, unless you've got some laboratory down somewhere under the ground sort of thing, working on this stuff. Probably Jeff Bezos does or something, I don't know. But, and it requires a lot of money. We're talking, NASA did an estimate they were going to launch a Mars colony back in the 80s, and the estimate of the cost was $450 billion. And that the Senate was sent. They put it to the Senate, and they went into sticker shock because it was the single most expensive thing since World War II. So it got canned straight away. So these are the things you're up against as well. So private sector can move quicker than government, but you still have to involve the government in it.
Yes.
What you tell them, is up to you.
So, like, why inspiration programs been conducted for civilians? Like, what do you think is the motive behind it? The inspiration program.
Yeah.
Why do you think is it been conducted for civilians? Like, I don't know what.
Good. I think it's a good promotional tool, and it shows that that normal people can get into space, and that's what it's all about, really. Making space travel just normal for everybody. Everybody. Inclusive. Inclusivity is the way to go. So that program. I'm not a big fan of SpaceX, I'll be honest with you. So, but that program there, I think, is brilliant. And it shows what can be done. It shows what can be done. And it displays that in front of your eyes, so you can't really discount it. There it is. I got some really good pictures from Kennedy Space Center of the launch as well. I was never there, of course, but Space Force Association had a party there. It was pretty good, and that was pretty exciting. And I got to meet a lot more people. So we grow.
Well, right, of course. So, what?
I think there should be more of it. I think there should be more civilians in space. I think there should be more of that. Getting away from defence forces, but basically all NASA pilots are U.S. Air Force. Pretty much everybody. So getting away from that and starting to convert that into just a normal thing where it's accepted, and it's just like getting in your car. That's the plan. That's the goal.
But as we are about to make space travel, there are certain practices or certain ways to test we will be compatible with that environment or not. Do you know what kind of tests they do?
No, I can't really comment on that. It's government information.
Okay.
So, what would you talk about if you were to talk to a first extraterrestrial being?
I think I'd offer my hand. I don't think we have any way of understanding the language. For starters, seriously, it's like you're not going to understand that language straight away. There's no way in the world that you're going to understand the language. They may understand our language, but you're not going to understand their language. And then the second thing I think about in my mind, this is all theoretical, is if you do reach out your hand as a gesture, do you get bacteria and things like, in your system? This is, it's biological.
A lot of possibilities here, right? It's like this can happen, this can happen.
This, I think, it has happened. This is, the many challenges that we face. Just simple understanding of extraterrestrial beings, and can we interact on a biological level with them without, dying,
risking it.
and they're genuine questions. You have to ask yourself that. A lot of people have, I've read a lot. I followed this subject as a kid. It excites the hell out of me. A lot of people you see get abducted, but from what I understand, it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Well, it's like, even if history, it can't be proven, because if it were proven, then we would have been very, very confident on the fact that the aliens do exist. Some do say, some are in denial, maybe.
It's pretty much, I think it's a done deal. They exist. If the NASA's discovered through the Kepler, I can't remember what it's called, telescope, 3.5 Earth-sized planets, 3,500 Earth-sized planets already. I mean, it's like rolling the dice. Surely there's got to be life on one of them.
Well, there might be a chance, well, that reminds me this one question. I don't know if it's stupid or it's, I kind of find it funny.
Ask.
So, well, if for the fact if humans go and colonize in Mars, and if they gave birth to babies, then would they be called aliens or humans?
Well, they will be called aliens, because that's what they are. They're Martians. They're of human blood, but they're born on Mars. It's like if you went to the USA and you had a baby, that baby's a US citizen.
Yeah, right. It's like,
I can't see that concept changing.
Will that baby able to, means how we can say, be compatible with the environment? Like, it is not.
It's a very good question. I don't know. Because we haven't done it, as far as I know. We haven't done that, as far as I know. Will it be adaptation, which is what the question you're asking? Who knows? Possibly. Which means they can't really come back to Earth without suits and that sort of thing. So, this is a big picture you're talking about.
There are some movies that the children are born on other planet, but they return to Earth, and they are not able to be compatible with Earth's environment.
I think what the main problem is, I just have to word carefully here. The main problem is finding a planet with close to a 24-hour day, because that's our life cycle, our cardiac rhythm, etc. The amount of sun we get as well, that affects our bodies. So it's a tough question you asked. It's a good one, but I really don't have the answer to that. It's only speculate.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
I think Mars will need an atmosphere. That's the first thing it's going to need. How do we create an atmosphere? Who the hell knows?
I think it will be a very long process, first we have to create an environment for a human to live there, and then go ahead and everything.
That's exactly it. It all has to be set up prior. So and I think that's Musk's plan, is to fly all this stuff in first and get all the groundwork sorted out and the habitat sorted out and all that sort of thing before you even think about civilians or astronauts or whatever you want to call them, people. Before you even think about sending people there, you have to be set up, because if you send people there, you're not set up. What are they going to do? They're just going to die. And that's the truth. You need to be able to grow, vegetation. You need to have water filtration systems. You need to have meat. So there's a lot to think about.
I'd have meat.
Yeah, exactly. That's a huge task. Huge task.
Yeah, exactly. It's so we already on Earth we already have all those things, So it's easier here, but there you have to create all those things. So
Exactly, starting from scratch. You're starting from the Stone Age, so to speak. So that's a big challenge. Good luck.
yeah,
Good luck to Elon. Good luck to Elon. I think it's marvelous. But I think the only equation, as I said, I can pick from him is that you need to get that propulsion down. You need to get there quicker. I know
yeah,
there's a guy called Ross Chandra who's actually creating an ion drive, and that ion drive can get you there in about 3 months. But even that's still too long, to be honest with you. But that's probably going to be our next step.
yeah, exactly. That's what my question was actually. So what if, like you said, it takes 8 months to get to Mars, right? So what if we were able to make our first ion thruster as a propulsion system for the spacecraft? Like,
Well, they cut it down to 3 months. So that's probably more achievable and
yeah,
probably more realistic, I think, than 18 months in a spacecraft. Because if you're spending that time in spacecraft, don't forget you've got to eat, you've got to go to the toilet and all that sort of thing. And it's not just a matter of getting in the spacecraft and going there. It's a matter of a lot of things.
yeah, true.
But I really truthfully believe if you can create propulsion systems that use warp drive technology, or anti-gravity technology, which is probably the big thing, which is probably the next step for us all. Then you're in the game. Then all of a sudden the world changes. All of a sudden you're in a different era. So, I get very attracted to that. That excites me. I don't need money. I don't need nothing. Just thinking about that excites me.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you want to find ET, I'll give you a hint. Go and have a look in the oceans and the deep part of the oceans.
That's the thing. It's like even I think only 30 to 25% of ocean has been just discovered. There are so many things that are not even known to humans.
There's a lot.
And on Earth, that is. Forget about
Oh,
going to different planets.
where do you hide? If you come to another planet and you want to hide, where do you hide?
Water, in the water.
Water, right? Where no one can see you. Or underground. So, as I said, I think these beings have been traveling here since the dawn of time. You just have to look in your culture as well, actually. Representing gods. They clearly make reference that they're from the skies. Clearly. And they clearly show advanced technology in
Yeah,
paintings and that sort of thing. It's right in front of us, and people don't see it. Our Australian Aboriginals have paintings of really extraterrestrials that are 40,000 years old. This stuff's been going on for millenniums. I don't know why. I think it's just a matter of interest. Just it's like, why would I go to another planet? Because I just want to see it. I just want to experience it. That's it.
And
yeah,
as we are talking about the ocean, as we move deeper, the creatures uh, be more and more different. Like as you take octopus, so
That's get weird.
some of the
That's
research
get
say
weird.
that it is not from the early ages. Like it is not clear.
You're right. And if you do a DNA run check on it, you'll probably find out a lot of confronting information. As I said, all life comes from the water.
yeah, exactly.
That's fact. So, but again, if you want to find that sort of thing, you have to go into the ocean. I noticed the Pentagon released just recently 3 UFO videos. I don't know if you've seen them or not. You probably have. It's amazing stuff. It's truly amazing stuff. And you still have people that come out and deny that, and it's right in front of you. I don't get that part of it. It's there. It is. Have a look. It's not CGI or any of that sort of thing. It's real. And I saw another one and it was on CNBC, of triangular shaped spacecraft above the USS Princeton. These guys have come out on the deck and filmed this stuff, and it's crazy. It's fantastic. Crazy to me is fantastic.
Well, a lot of people think that crazy is just stupid, or
They'll write you off. The first thing they do is this: bring you down, call you crazy, say this guy. That's how the game's played. So you have to counteract that. Countermeasures.
Right. So we have last two questions for you, and then we'll start the Q&A session.
Okay.
So what you said that first we should start with the moon, which to make it habitable for humans. Like, what do you think will be the process? Like, is it going to be similar to Mars, or will it be a little bit more easier and adaptable?
I think it's very simple. The moon is 350,000 miles away. Mars is hundreds of millions miles away. So it's just an achievable thing for our current technology. And I think that the moon has an atmosphere as well. It's very, very slight, but the moon has an atmosphere. Can that be enhanced? I don't know. But we can certainly set up there, and we can certainly set up buildings there, and laboratories there, and that kind of thing. Who knows? Robert Bigelow, who does Bigelow Aerospace, got inflatable habitats that have just done a contract with the United States government and to put on the moon for people to live on. So this stuff's going ahead, and the moon. Once you get to the moon, as I said, you cut your travel time to Mars down so much by just being there on a planet that doesn't really have gravity. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, right.
It's just getting the stuff there. There's a lot of you got a lot of stuff to transport there. I'm talking about 3 space flights a day. Just to meet the requirements of getting this happening. That's a big bite.
Yeah. So what initiative, I know, once I saw this one image of from the space satellite or something. We saw, all I can see is there's Earth and there's space debris everywhere. So what do you think will actually reduce that? It's like in further years, because then it'll be harder for us.
We need to be first of all, we need to clean up all that crap up there, and then we need to be environmentally friendly. So when we do get them, we haven't truly explored the moon. We've sent men in there and they've got off and they've been there for 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever, or if Gene Cernan, 12 hours, But, you just got to think what I can say and what I can't say. I think that, as I said, I just think it's a smarter idea.
Yeah. Right. Mitesh, do you have any questions?
Yes, actually, this is the question that most of us are expecting. That does Moody Space Center have any program for students like us to come and be educated?
Well, I'm taking CVs from interns at the moment.
Okay.
Intern.
Yeah, internships. Well, are you interested?
Well, half of the people, almost 90% of people are interested, for sure. For sure. So let's
got our first astronaut actually, and he's from the Royal Australian Air Force, and I'm not going to say his name, but I'm excited as hell about that, to be honest with you.
Well, now I'm excited as well.
It's what it does. The key word is sovereign capability. And that's what it gives to Australia, and that is that's a big move. Australia has just taken on, I don't know if you've seen the news, but Australia has just taken on the US military, and we've just bought Tomahawk missiles. Australia's starting to make a move, and we know what comes after that. I mean, don't be too smart to say it. But Australia's about to become a superpower like India and America. And, that puts us in a different age, puts in a different league of people, there's only 12 countries that are superpowers. So it's a very exciting time. I think I just happen to be in the right time at the right place, and that's about it. Getting back to your intern thing, yes, we're always interested in looking at people's CVs. And it's open to everybody, not just Australians, because that's part of what I wanted to do too. I wanted to have diversity and inclusivity of people, from all over the world.
Yes, that's great. So, as an experienced person, you transitioned from social studies to making cube satellites. You would have faced so many obstacles, so many problems.
Oh, I did.
Yes. So on the basis of that, can you give the message to the youth to make such a transition, or who are making such efforts?
Yep, very simple stuff. Commit 100%, 100% beyond that. Actually, commit 110%. Work hard, work focused, and you will achieve it. And avoid the negativity. Again, avoid the negativity, because I'm telling you right now, you will get criticism. And it gets to you sometimes. You know, it gets to me sometimes, being truthful. And, I think, that bugger, I think I want to fight him, sort of thing, But you just have to, really have to pay no attention to that. So you have to block it out. So as again, it's just sheer hard work, confidence, commitment, and determination. There's nothing special about it. Most people won't commit 100% these days. It's very hard to find,
Right. So, what is your what message would you give to our upcoming youths? If someone is really interested in astronomy
Stick to the
and
plan. Stick to the plan that you have. Be tunnel visioned almost. But stick to the plan and don't let anyone push you off that plan. It's really easy, but it's only for strong people.
Right. So let's start with the Q&A, shall we? So
Sure.
we have a few questions. We have a
So
few
the
questions from our very interested audience.
Let's go.
So,
the
Mitesh,
participants can also raise their hand, so we can give permission, and also they can put it in the chat box as well.
Yeah, sure. I've seen the names down here.
Yes.
so
First question.
Okay, so first question that I would like to ask here is, how will gravitational waves reveal the secret of the universe?
How will the
Gravitational waves reveal the secrets of the universe.
Well, everything works on gravity, doesn't it? I think if you want to create even spacecraft, you want to create those sort of spacecraft, you have to be able to create not a vacuum, which is what everyone focuses on. You have to create an atmosphere around the craft. For example, I'll use nature. The world's traveling at 33,000 miles an hour. Do you feel it? No. Well, and why is that? Because of gravity. So manipulating that, that's pretty exciting stuff.
Right, of course. So,
another thing, I'll give you a little hint. It's not actually propulsion, it's attraction.
Okay.
So students, learn that one. I learned that when I was a kid. When I used to be the 3-year-old kid just playing with magnets. It was just fascinating with them. I've been playing for hours, and I was always so interested, interesting how they click together. That's not propulsion, that's attraction. So it's interpretation and looking at the small things. Looking at the small things give you the big answers.
Yeah, right, of course. So the next question is from Harsh, and his question is that around 29 planets in the space which can have some type of life form and can even read our radio signals. So why do you think they never contacted back? Like if they can read the radio signals, if you can send them, then why?
I think they contact.
Sorry?
Because it's exciting. Simple as that. And I think, as I said, I think contact's been going on since the dawn of time. But we live in a bubble in this world, and everything's controlled, every move's watched, and threats are put down pretty quickly. So if you are into this technology and are working on this technology, I would advise you to keep your mouth shut until you have that technology, because they will come after you because there's a threat to their money.
Yes, of course. That's true actually.
You
So
talk to him, you become national security target,
yeah, true.
which ain't fun, believe me.
So what would be the adverse effect on environment of Mars, due to colonization?
Well, human waste, for example, and wastewater. What are we going to do with that? We're going to have to look at filtration and recycle systems. We're going to basically have to be able to drink it, really. So we're going to look at that, which we can do now on Earth. So that works. Recycling oxygen as well. And these just the small things, but the small things make the big picture. So that's what you need to do first. And are things able to go in the Martian soil? I mean, that's another question. Can we, if we do create domes and stuff like that, do we have to bring in dirt from Earth, or can we use Martian soil? Is Martian soil? I've seen the NASA satellites where they've scooped the soil, and it seems to be soil underneath that top layer. So I'm not there. I haven't been there, so I don't know. But my guess is that you're probably going to be able to grow something there because there's underground water.
Okay. So next question.
Yep.
Sorry. So next question is, will the Moody Space Center be willing to sponsor DHRUVA Astronomy Club?
Of course it would. I love it. I love helping people. One of my things, I love helping people. As I said, because I was born an orphan, no one really wanted me. So I learned that if you help other people, you will get rewarded in different ways. You're going to get rewarded. It's not going to be cash or anything like that, but you get knowledge. By helping others, you help yourself.
Yeah. True. So, do you think that asteroid Oumuamua, I don't know if I'm correct pronouncing it right, but do you think it's a spacecraft, like extraterrestrial spacecraft?
In regards to asteroids, or just say that question again. I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing. I'm a bit deaf.
I said that, do you think that the asteroid Oumuamua is an extraterrestrial spacecraft?
Oh, right. Yeah, I saw the Harvard man talking about that, actually. That's a very good question because it seems to do the opposite things of nature. And when you got something doing the opposite things of nature, that requires manipulation. And then you ask the next question through psychology, manipulation by what? And then you follow your question, your answer. So it's quite possible. Do I know? I don't know. But it's quite possible. And Harvard University have got behind the idea. And this gentleman, which I'm sure you've seen, if you just go on YouTube, you'll find him. And he speaks about it. He speaks about, course correction. You know what that word means? It means it changes its course against nature. That's not possible with a natural object. That's not possible. And then all these people come in, of course, with theories about it's the eyes coming off the object and that sort of thing. And you come in with all these people who think they're really smart, and they're quite dumb, really, to tell you the truth. But they're there, so you got a lot of slack to cop. Do I think it's a spacecraft? I really honestly don't know. But it's a very interesting subject because, as I said, it shows course correction and it shows things going against the nature. So there seems to be a controlled event.
Yeah. So just a reminder for you guys, you can raise your hand and we can unmute yourself if you have any questions. Okay. So
that's fine. I'm open.
Yeah. So I think Harsh has a question.
You got a question there, man?
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, Harsh, you can unmute now.
Hello, John. It is great to actually talk to you. The question I have is, what do you think? What we will discover after James Webb, this telescope, the space telescope, is up and running?
What do I think of what?
what we will discover when the James Webb Telescope, the space telescope the NASA is gonna launch in December, what will we discover after it's up and running?
I don't know the future, but yeah, I'm sure we'll discover a lot of new things that will challenge us. Couldn't say much more than that because I'm not privy to the project. So these are just my conclusions, personal conclusions. I think that there'll be more discovery, and discovery is good. We learn from it, you know. So the more we learn, the more we grow. I think it's a good project.
Right.
And we can actually increase it or what? Is like the James Webb took 20 years in the making. Now, if we want to exceed the project, so do you think we can build a more precise and more versatile telescope than the James Webb?
Most definitely. Most definitely. As I said, it's just applying oneself to a project, applying oneself to an idea and going for it. You know, of course you can do it.
Right.
So there is one
Thank
last
you for that answer.
Hi.
Hey Bear, how are you?
Sorry. So there is one last question.
Yeah.
What are the future plans of Moody Space Center? What are the future projects?
Pretty much everything. Pretty much everything. Once we get past this rocket stuff, we're looking into advanced projects. So, you know, advanced projects and advanced concepts is what really excites me personally, because I love the thing that I can't explain. That tracks me so much, you know. I'm just one of those sort of people. I'm a nerd.
Well, I can assure you, John, that everyone here is a nerd right now.
Well, I'm in good company. I'm just a simple guy, straightforward guy without an education, who shouldn't be in a place, but he is.
Right, of course. So, unfortunately, we have come to end of our session. So I would.
Problem. It's a pleasure talking to you, and I appreciate the questions.
Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you as well, John. We are
Send me
honored.
those CVs, guys.
Sorry?
Send me those CVs.
Yes, definitely.
Sure.
I'm interested.
Yeah, definitely. So, I would like to ask Ekta to give the vote of thanks.
Okay.
Ekta?
Yeah. Now, I would like to present the vote of thanks for the event. First of all, thank you so much, John Moody, sir, for accepting our invitation on such short notice, and we are grateful for such an amazing session. It was indeed an honorable experience for us to interact with you, and I'm sure that participants will try to implement the information that you shared today. I would like to thank our faculty members, Pavin Gode, sir, Dr. Vandana Patil ma'am, for their guidance through all the curves to land in such an amazing and successful podcast.
Much respect.
I would also like to thank our astronomy team for their dedicated work throughout the planning of the event. Last but not the least, our lovely audience for being so patient and interactive in this session. Thank you so much.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Warmfeld.
Thank you.
It's an honor to meet you. Bye.
We're out of here.
Hello, John sir.
Last time, I would like to tell everyone to switch on the cameras for just a snap.
Yeah, that'd be great, actually.
Yeah.
I'll certainly promote it. It'll be all around the world in a few seconds.
Yes.
Come on, guys. Big smiles. Look good. I'll give you a few seconds.
Yeah, guys, please open your camera if possible.
Open that camera. Get your mind out there. No, we can't get him, I think. Kushal, is it? He's off mute.
Hi.
Don't be
How are you?
afraid.
We interacted previously as well, and it was a pleasure talking to you. I enjoyed the session a lot. Like there were a lot of knowledge that we got from this session. Thank you so much.
If you ever want to get in contact with me, just contact the presenters. They've got my email, and I'd love to hear from you.
Yes, sure.
All right, brothers and sisters, talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.